some of the books and theologians that shaped you most outside of Scripture? Well, if I'm honest and go back, I think I have to go back to when I studied theology and I was involved with a church plant in a black township with a Presbyterian pastor, and he had books, and I got this biography of George Whitfield there. It just gripped my heart to read how he preached in the fields, and how some of the mine workers, the tears would run down their cheeks and you could see the tears and the black on their faces, and how he was excluded and marginalized and persecuted, and how he was so dedicated to the gospel. This had a profound impact on me. The other book that had also a very big influence on me was this book, The Forgotten Spurgeon, from Ian Murray. And this book was given to me by one of my great heroes, Dr. Martin Holt. He's a Reformed evangelical giant in South Africa the past 30, 40 years. And he gave me this at the 2001 Grace Ministers Conference, where I met Ian Murray as well. And this book showed me how Spurgeon was persecuted even by his own brother in synod, how he stood up against them and fought the liberals. And Spurgeon, I can never get rid of Spurgeon. He's got the most amazing ability to write devotional work, but also he was a scholar. Textual criticism, he's done so many work on that as well. That was also very influential. And then, of course, I have to say Professor Etta Linnemann's book that we got from Professor Bob Yarbrough. Well, we got it also from Dr. Martin Holt, who gave me 30 copies for theology students. She was the first female professor of theology in Germany. She was a Rudolf Bultmann student as well. And then she converted and told her students to go throw her liberal books in the trash. And she had a remarkable story, and then she became a missionary as well in Indonesia. Another two, I think there are two left that I still have to mention. The first one has to be J. Gresham Machen. I'll never forget this. As a first-year student, I was doing research and trying to find conservative scholars that can help me with my studies, and I discovered an academic monograph by J. Gresham Machen. Not some of his other biography books and easy reading books, but his book on the virgin birth of Christ. And I want to ask you, if you're going to do a PhD, go Google J. Gresham's volume on the virgin birth. I found it so incredibly exhaustive, so deep. He engaged with all the theories from liberals. I even found theories in there that I didn't find in liberals that he unpacked, and then he came to a conservative position. I also read about his story, how he was persecuted and how he left the PCUSA in the States. So Gresham Machen has been for me a wonderful, towering figure in my studies. There are actually two more that I have to say. The one is obviously Adolf Schlatter. You would have seen the video I did on him. He was persecuted, vilified, mocked as a giant evangelical scholar in Germany. This really helped me to understand what happened more than a century ago, explaining why we have the situation we have now in the mainline churches. And then, of course, the last one I have to mention is Thomas Oden. Thomas Oden was a liberal. He also studied under Bultmann. He became a Bultmannian. He rejected the resurrection. He got a job at a university in the States where his publications were quite famous. And then he converted through a friendship with a Jewish scholar, and he narrates in this book quite carefully his whole journey and how the militants took over and how he tried to fight from the inside. So these books have meant a lot to me. But in general, I have to say biographies of Christian men and women throughout church history, I think was one of the greatest tools that God has used in my ministry. And I want to encourage you as well to always read Christian biographies.